Red Wings fans, stand up. Yeah, we gonna throw them wings up, wings up, wings up. Show the league that this is our time. Let's make the city proud. We gon' win the Stanley Cup, Stanley Cup, Stanley Cup. After that we gonna party. We gon' show everybody. We show them all around the world. We show them all around the world. We show them all around the world. We gon' throw them wings up. We gon' throw them wings up.
How would you characterize today's game?
It was probably a sloppy start for us, but then we just, when the game went on, we just started keeping our feet, and we just started moving, and that was probably way easier for us than playing it than the first period, I guess. But since last game, I think we did better stuff than we did last game, and I think that's the reason why we won today. That's the reason why we were, we overplayed them, overcompete them. So I think that was a huge game for us.
How do you look at it when you look at this game? I mean, they tried to, I think, engage you in some physical activities and after the whistle and trying to bait you into penalties. How difficult is it sometimes to play that disciplined plan when the other team is trying to draw you into, deteriorating the game a bit?
Well, sometimes when the game is kind of like tight or something, and they want to go over us and get some PPs. But I think you just have to handle it, and just keep it, in your mind. Just don't do any stupid penalties or something, and just play hockey and have fun.
I know you and Joe spent the summer here in Detroit working out. Hooked up on a couple of. It had to feel good for you to get on the score sheet one way or another.
Yeah, obviously, just want to play for the team and want to play for the boys because it's probably maybe last year for us, some of us to play together, so we just want to win the games, and then it just doesn't matter if I'll score or pass, and just want to win this tournament. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm trying to help the team.
We move the puck really well, and we're able to capitalize, and we don't really get frustrated when things don't go well, and we stick with the plan, and have confidence and trust each other with the plan.
What about your confidence scoring this many goals in 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've worked on a lot throughout the summer. Staying here is working on my shot and getting it off quicker. So I have to give a lot of credit to the coaches who've been working with me and showing me some good techniques with that. And obviously, the players giving me the puck and seeing me in open areas at the right time. So. It's complementary to many things out there.
Did you take to heart one of the quote-unquote knocks against you is that you're supremely talented, but you didn't have a hard shot or your release wasn't quick enough? When you hear that criticism, you develop the attitude that I'm going to show you because obviously you were getting that shot off pretty quick and pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always had, a pretty good shot. I don't think, was something, was terrible at. I mean, I just never really shot the puck. Actually, I would always look for the pass first. But, as I realized, you gotta shoot the puck when you get to the next level. I mean, you're not always going to make those pretty plays. So. Just put the puck on net and I guess see what happens. So that's what I've been taught.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. So you thought it was an unfair criticism when because they would read, you would read that about you and say, wow, he's a great player, but boy, he just doesn't seem to have the shot that you would think a player of his caliber would.
I mean, I don't want to say they're wrong. I mean, I think I've came a long way with my shot, and I mean. It wasn't something, like I said, I was terrible at. I just, never really shot the puck as often as I do now, and so I guess they never really seen, my shot and, how hard or how accurate it could be at times. So, I mean, I have more of a shooting mentality, and I think that's how I have to keep doing that.
You and Phil seem to be developing a little bit of chemistry. He's kind of pressing a little because he wants to score goals, obviously, but he has a tremendous shot. Can you talk about, the way you guys have evolved? Because it looks like you've been playing together for a while, and obviously you haven't been.
Yeah, I mean, we've developed a little bit of chemistry over the summer, hanging out with each other and seeing each other on the ice and working out together. And obviously we talk to each other a lot, so we're 2 elite players, and I guess we find each other on the ice, and I guess we're both able to score some goals. I don't think obviously Z should be Z, who should have 4 goals by now. But I mean, you know, we both work well with each other, and you know, we're just both happy to help the team win.
Hey, how do you think the tournament's gone so far for you?
I think I played better today than yesterday. I mean, this was the 2 first games of this season, so it's getting better and better.
Yeah, I know years ago at the showcase you talked about the small ice surface and developing into that, and you seem to be a real quick study on that. How about the pace of this? I mean, you're really getting the action of a how do you think that you know, the adjustment to the smaller ice surface, or do we tend to make a bigger thing out of it than it really is?
I mean, now yesterday that was my first game since the World Juniors final, so it was kind of a long time ago I played on the smaller ice. So, but I mean, it's fun to be back on it, and I think it fits me well. And the timing, maybe it's not there yet, but it's coming. And yeah, like I said, it's getting better. So, yeah.
You know, we're used to seeing a lot of Swedish hockey players in Detroit. Not so many, except maybe for Thomas Holmstrom, that play with an edge. But there were a couple of times out there today that looked like he wanted to engage with the Blues. You talk about going out there and wanting to establish not only your skill side, but also your physical side.
Yeah, I mean, I want to use my body as much as I can. Like if I have a chance, I want to hit people, and but anyway, I want to like make some plays with the puck. So I think I'm a two-way defenseman that can play in both ends. So,
what are you looking forward to in this prospects tournament, in camp, and then turning pro this year or playing in North America? What do you see? Maybe what you have to work on, and where you feel pretty comfortable about your game?
I mean, here you have to be like a little bit more. You have to be faster with the puck and more quick with the puck to make plays, and you don't have that much time with the puck that you have in Europe. So I got to be faster with the puck, and then I mean it's easier to play physical here on the smaller ice. So the other forwards doesn't have any like they don't have so much time that they have in Europe. So yeah.
And we've got a lot of skill on that first unit, and we've got a lot of skill in the second unit. So anytime you've got some skill and players are creative, you give them a little structure, some guidelines, a little bit of a mentality. And Todd Krieger has done a great job in the limited amount of time that we've had. So credit to the players and credit to Todd for getting the buy-in early here, and hopefully, again, we keep continually to get better on it.
With Joe Velano, did you envision him being this much of a prolific scorer, goal-wise?
Well, Joe's a good player. You know, there's a reason why he was drafted where he was, and there's a reason why he had exceptional status in the queue, and there's a reason why he's on the trajectory of becoming an elite player. So he brings a little bit of everything. So it's just good for him to have the confidence to play well here. So he hopefully brings that into camp and really does a good job in camp using this.
How refreshing is it that a player of his stature, he seems very coachable, that he takes what he is told and he actually works on that instead of, and I'm not trying to cast aspersions on different guys, but instead of competent attitude, he takes it to heart and he does go out and do exactly what you want.
He's a student of the game. He cares, he wants to get better. He's made a commitment to himself and his career. And he doesn't have a big ego, and I think that's a huge thing, that he works hard, he doesn't have an ego, and he goes about his business, and he wants to get better every day. So you're kind of seeing that. He put in the time this summer, like we talked about yesterday, and it's showing.
You had Giovanni last year, obviously, in Grand Rapids. You had the Gordie Howe hat trick, although it wasn't much of a fight today. But how about his progression? Are you liking what you're seeing? Because he plays within his own self. He understands where he's at and what he wants to accomplish.
Yeah, well, again, Smitty made huge strides last year. And from where he was to start the year last year to where he was to finish the year, I think he, again, is another guy that spent a lot of time in Detroit this summer. Invested in himself and his career, and he's put the time in, and he knows what he has to do. He knows what he has to be, the identity of a player that he needs to be. So it's just a matter of him making a commitment consistently to do that.
You know, you have 3 veteran players or older players have A's on. No, you know, in Red Wing tradition, I guess the last couple of years, no captain. But I'm kind of curious, what goes into that, or was it just these guys have been around? You know, they should lead simply because they're a little bit older and they've been around.
Well, a lot of guys in this locker room have worn letters on their junior teams or their college team. A lot of these guys are quality people, quality kids, very capable of being leaders for a rookie tournament like this. We just felt that those guys that are wearing A's have really done a tremendous job in showing just in the short amount of time in last year with some leadership qualities, and they've done a good job so far this week.
What have you think of Zadina through a couple games and a couple practices from where he left off in the spring?
When Z is playing a simple hockey game and he's not getting frustrated, he's an effective player. And he just has to make sure that he's playing a mature game on a consistent basis. And he has all the talent in the world. He's got a tremendous work ethic. He just has to make sure that he's channeling it in the right direction.
Is there anything, is it just like he's got to get there mentally to that place?
Well, I don't know if there's an answer to that. I think that it's going to be up to him as to how he matures. I mean, again, he's a young kid. A lot of these young players get frustrated very easily, and it's not easy to play. It's not easy to play in this tournament. It's not easy to play in the National Hockey League, and it's not easy for an 18, 19-year-old to play in the American League. So, hopefully, he's going to use what he learned last year, for better or for worse, and apply that to moving forward.